The Honourable Jan Barham.
Freedom of expression, the right to engage in sex and have relationships are human rights that many people take for granted. Unfortunately, if you have any form of disability, these rights are often denied by prejudicial views or a paternalistic attitude by authorities charged with the responsibility of caring for people with a disability. Common stereotypes still prevail in society that deny people sexuality, such as the belief that people with a disability are asexual or have no need for sexual expression and are to be protected from their own sexuality. There are many barriers that people face in wishing to engage in sexual activity. If the disability is significant with a lack of physical function, coupled with communication challenges, it becomes almost impossible to pursue one's desires without requiring assistance to facilitate interaction with a sexual partner. The documentary Scarlet Road highlighted the role played by Touching Base, a charitable organisation which formed in 2000. As its website states, it developed out of the need to assist people with disability and sex workers to connect with each other, focusing on access, discrimination, human rights and legal issues and the attitudinal barriers that these two marginalised communities can face. Earlier this year I attended a fundraiser luncheon for Touching Base to welcome new patrons to the organisation, who include well-known public advocates Michael Kirby and Eva Cox. The event screened a new Australian short film by siblings Lloyd and Spencer Harvey called The Gift, which has received many screenings at international film festivals and won significant awards. Charlie is a young adult with cerebral palsy who lives at home with his family and for his birthday asks to lose his virginity. The film takes a refreshing look at the issues faced by the family when they engage the services of a sex worker as a gift to Charlie. The UN Convention on the Rights of Persons with Disabilities under Article 21 talks about the right to freedom of expression, and Article 23 under respect for the family and home states that state parties shall take effective and appropriate measures to eliminate discrimination against persons with disabilities in all matters relating to marriage, family, parenthood and relationships on an equal basis with others. However, the Civil Society report to the UN Committee on the Rights of Persons with Disabilities, published in 2012, showed that we as a society are often failing to respect these rights. Quote, many people with disability experience discrimination and neglect in relation to their rights to sexual expression, choice of relationship, having a family and parenting support, all of which are taken for granted by most other Australians. Many of those who rely on disability supports experience paternalistic and moralistic attitudes from support staff and service providers, and their needs for assistance in developing and maintaining relationships and friendships, and the decisions to enter into marriage or partnership receive little or no support at a policy or service delivery level. The report lists concerns such as few programs for people with a disability about sexuality and intimate relationships, a failure by policymakers to take into account the opinions of people with disability in relation to their sexuality, a lack of sex education means that people are not informed about safe sex or positive relationships, inadequate access to health care and a failure to provide information and education on sexual health for women with a disability. One of the recommendations of the report is that Australia resources sexuality, relationship and human rights training and information for people with disability, including providing support for agencies that provide access to sexual services, including in residential facilities. An article published at The Conversation in March 2013 by Matthew Yeo, Head of Occupational Therapy at James Cook University and a practising sexual therapist, called for the NDIS to cover the services of sex workers for participants. He states, quote, I often see couples with a disabled partner struggling to resume sex and intimacy without professional guidance. Some struggle with body image, while others are unsure of their sexual capabilities. By not having access to a sexual outlet, I see clients losing their self-confidence, sexual self-esteem, temper control and certainty about their sexual identity. His view is that the NDIS could cover two types of sexual services, professional sex therapy and sexual services to assist people with a disability with sexual expression and fulfilment. Similarly, before the transition to a national framework takes place in New South Wales, disability support packages could include the option to cover sexual services for those wishing to pursue it. It is for these reasons that policy guidelines for the provision of disability supports that recognise the rights of sexual expression should be developed.